Put me in the lab, watch me cook up like a chef. Don't tell me I can't ball, cause boy you ain't no ref. Making plate after plate after plate on our Steph.
Hey y'all, it's Dale again. Hey y'all, I'm coming back from downtown Prattville, Alabama. And I just want to have a short conversation with you this morning. And essentially, I don't have a story to tell. I really don't have a title for this video, but I will say this. There is hope. That's right. There is hope. So y'all, over the last 35, 40 years of me being in adulthood, I have met some wonderful people. I've had some wonderful experiences. And back at the beginning of my journey into adulthood, I made a decision that I was going to continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to strive. And I would say this, no matter where you're at in your life right now, there's always room to grow, to better yourself, to just become a better human being. And in addition to that, I'd like to say that, you know what? We have been too many times stuck in traditions about the way that we should move, the way that we should live our lives. And I'm here to tell you that some of the old traditions need to be thrown out the window. You know what? I believe in this day and time, in particular after the pandemic, a lot of people have realized, because they reassessed who they were and what their purpose was, that you know what? There's better for me in life. There's better. And I'm not going to go back to doing what I used to do. So prime example, I have a cousin who works in banking, and in the midst of the pandemic, they closed down the branches where she worked at. And she was sent home to work remote. And one of the things that she found was that, you know what? I don't have a need to be inside of this office in order to get my work done. I have everything I need at home to do the work that I need to do. So this was back in 2020 when they closed her office/operations center down where she worked at. This cousin of mine does commercial banking. So we fast forward, and about a month ago, I was having a conversation with her, and she said, well, Dale, you know what? They've started trying to get us to come back into the office. They're wanting us to come back in about 2 days a week now. And she said, we can pick the days that we want to come in, but Dale, I believe that what they're going to do is they're going to eventually try to phase in when we have to come back full time every day. And so I said, cousin, are you going to go back? She said, no, Dale, I'm not going back. I can respect that because times have changed. My cousin also said, you know what, Dale? They're just trying to control us. They're just trying to control us. I can understand and I can appreciate that. So, me knowing my cousin and knowing her very well, excuse that tailpipe. We're in the country, y'all. And the country boys love the tailpipes around here. So, by me knowing my cousin, I understand that she's not going to wait until they make the decision to make her come back into the office full time. I guarantee you that she's in the midst of finding a new opportunity that's going to give her the freedom and the flexibility that she knows she deserves. So that's just one example. of traditions being thrown away. Now, I know, I get it. There's a lot of folks out there who feel that you're not able to make your money and actually give your commitment to your employer unless you're inside office somewhere full time. I got another example, another story. Oh yeah, and I know I talked about I wasn't going to tell any stories and wasn't going to have a title from a video, but check this out. I just thought about this one. So I have a relative whose wife had the opportunity to work remote about 2 years ago, and essentially her employer said, you know what, we don't care when you do this work, as long as you do the work. If you want to work for an hour or two in the mornings, that's up to you. If you want to leave and go to the school and take care of some needs of your kids, that's up to you, as long as the work is done. That's in the midst of making a full-time salary, y'all. Something else happened. They told her, hey, you know what? There are going to be days where you're not going to work a full 8 hours in order to get your work done, but we're still going to pay you a full-time salary. Now, you know what? This relative's wife was feeling some kind of way about that. When I heard this story, I said, hey, she feels guilty, don't she? She feels guilty. And my relative just kind of nodded his head and kind of smiled. Yes, she feels guilty because we've been trained to understand that unless we were putting in 8 or more hours a day, we wasn't earning our money. So y'all, times have changed. It's a new age. For those that are young and for those that are young at heart, you ain't necessarily got to kill yourself in order to make your daily bread. You ain't got to kill yourself to earn your daily bread. We're in a digital age now, and I would encourage any of you who want to get more out of their lives to consider making a change, transitioning to something that actually is going to better suit who you know you want to be. You know what? Several years ago, when I worked as a corrections officer, I would be criticized for taking vacation time on a regular basis, taking sick time. Now, I didn't pay that no attention because of the fact that that was a benefit that was given to me by my employer. Individuals can say what they want to say, but nobody knows you like you. So I was talking to a family member, another family member, and he was telling me, he said, you know what? I work with this guy from France, and he was telling me that when he left France, he had 9 weeks of vacation time. Now, this is a very interesting part of that 9 weeks of vacation time. The young man that my family member was speaking of was 27 years old. That's right. He was 27 years old. And when he left France to come to the United States to work, he had 9 weeks of vacation time. Let me tell you something. There are people in this country that would fall out if they realized that just across the pond in Europe, work is looked upon in a totally different way. Over there, for the most part, they understand that work is to earn a living, earn money. Work is not supposed to be your life. You know what? In the midst of me being criticized in the past for taking vacation or taking sick time off, I had co-workers who were afraid to take time off from work. As a matter of fact, I had more than one co-worker who lost not 5 or 10, but 100 or more hours of vacation time each year because they would not take any time off. It doesn't make any sense, y'all. When you know better, you do better. Yes, I understand. My parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles preached. You educate yourself. You get yourself a good job. And I've even had one family member tell me when I got my first good job in corrections, don't you ever leave that job. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. There's nothing wrong with work, but work does not need to engulf your whole life. There's a lot of us who have not realized the goodness in life that we can be living because we've been so fixated on working. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, but it does not need to be your whole life. So hey, I would encourage you, for those who are young and those who are young at heart, let's find a different way to do things so that we can live rich, wonderful lives. Take care of our families, take care of ourselves, take some vacation time off, enjoy our lives. Sit on a park bench. Recognize the beauty that's all around us. Have some quiet time without thinking about being pushed and shoved and pulled to and fro for the sake of somebody's job. I'm going to tell you this right here. If you decide to transition and do something on your own that's going to benefit you, and it doesn't work out, or you don't like it, you know what? You can always go back to that job or a job like it. So, with that being said, I'm going to take my leave. It has been my pleasure being here with you today. And I just want you to think about what I've said. Yes, I know it's disruptive. The suggestion by me to do something different. But you know what? A lot of us are not living the rich, full lives we should be living. And I do believe in this day and time, we've got to embrace a different way. Life is not about drudgery. Life is not about stress. Life is not about anxiety. Life is about living the kind of life that God would want us to have and be free in it. So with that being said, God bless you and keep you, y'all. It's Dale again. Peace.
Just look at me and see this greatness on the ground like at a crime scene. It's evidence. Watch the Holy Spirit shake up your residence. Get some reverence. All these blessings round and round. Ain't no way that they ain't have been sent. They ain't believe in us, but God